Hello, my name is José Arnulfo Cabrera, and I am the Director of Education and Advocacy for Migration at the Ignatian Solidarity Network. In his message for the 2019 World Day of Migrants and Refugees, Pope Francis said, "We ourselves need to see and then enable others to see that migrants and refugees do not only represent a problem to be solved, but are our brothers and sisters to be welcomed, respected, and loved. They are an occasion that Providence gives us to help build a more just society, a more perfect democracy, a more united country, a more fraternal world, and a more open evangelical Christian community." Immigration policy in the United States is complicated and often confusing. It will be impossible for me to help you understand all of this in the next 10 minutes. But I hope to shine a light on some of the most challenging things that immigrants are facing in the US today. Asylum seekers come to this country seeking refuge from the unsafe and dangerous conditions they face in their home countries. When they arrive to the US, they face policies that deny their rights to seek asylum. The Migration Protection Protocol, also known as the Remain in Mexico, requires asylum seekers that present themselves at the US port of entry to return to Mexico and await outside the US for the duration of their immigration proceedings. These policies further endanger immigrants. They put them in a vulnerable state where they face crime, violence, persecution, rape, extortion, and murder. This policy also violates public health guidelines to stop the spread of COVID-19. Immigrant detention centers are inhumane and are designed to deny the dignity of a human being. These conditions have led to the death of many adults and children. The U.S. has the largest immigration detention system in the world, with 200 immigration jails across the country. Nearly 360,000 immigrants are in detention every year. Immigrants in detention have faced the full weight of COVID-19 as the conditions in detentions make it extremely difficult to follow the guidelines for social distancing, frequent hand washing, and mask wearing conditions. Medical professionals and other advocates describe immigrant detention centers as tinderboxes on the verge of exploding. Our partners in the Kino Border Initiative have shared testimonies of detainees that say they're so fearful of contracting COVID-19 in these detention centers that they have began to self-deport. Undocumented immigrants have always lived in fear of being detained, separated from their families, and deported by ICE, Immigration, Customs, and Enforcement. During the Obama administration, there were a set of clear enforcement priorities that were a strict hierarchy of who would be deported and who would be granted a stay of removal. This allowed for many undocumented immigrants to continue to stay with their families in the US. But the Trump administration decided to end that and has made all undocumented immigrants top priority for removal. And in return, this has caused an increase in raids. In the summer of 2018 and 2019, ICE conducted a record number of raid operations across the country. The first in 2018, over 100 immigrants were detained in Northwest Ohio at 2 landscaping companies. The following summer, in Mississippi, the ICE agents detained over 600 undocumented immigrants in these chicken packing facilities. Both of these raids not only separated and destroyed families, but they also destroyed their communities. There are over 1.5 million people with Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, or DACA, and temporary protective status, or TPS, that live in the U.S. Both of these programs are federal immigration programs that provide a specific immigrant population temporary work authorization and protection from deportation. In September of 2017, the Trump administration decided to rescind the DACA program. Weeks later, lawsuits started emerging and challenging the Trump administration's decision. In 2019, the Supreme Court heard oral arguments on these cases, and in June of 2020, the Supreme Court ruled against the Trump administration and told them that they had to reinstate the DACA program to its original 2012 form. But instead, the Trump administration quickly took the first steps in ending the program by making some drastic changes to DACA. In 2018, the Trump administration decided not to redesignate TPS, despite the fact that the State Department said that most of the countries from where TPS holders are from are still considered unstable and unsafe countries to return to. Lawsuits were brought against the Trump administration, and in September, a federal court allowed the Trump administration to move forward with not redesignating TPS and have put TPS holders in the upcoming year in danger of deportation. TPS holders and DACA recipients have become members of our community and are Americans in every way but on paper. The House of Representatives has passed the American Dream and Promise Act that would give a pathway to citizenship for TPS holders, DACA recipients, but the Senate has yet to pass any legislation that provide a pathway to citizenship. Our immigration system is broken and inhumane. We must work to create a new system that would value dignity, respect, and welcome all immigrants from all parts of the country. I hope this helps you in understanding the complexities. And I hope together we can work for a more just and humane immigration system.